Today is Friday, June 17th. Let's take a look at the transport sector of the market, specifically airlines. Let's start out with the reason for all this. Here is the Dow Jones Transportation Average. You can see it's obviously not in good shape. An attempted breakout. There was a trend line in here, and it failed. So you revise the trend line to capture all the data. So it is still in a declining trend, hit a new low, and yesterday the transports did very poorly, and again thanks to the airlines, which are the worst sector of the day. And this despite the fact that oil is falling for the last couple of days. So it's not a good thing. So here we have the transports in decline, clearly made lower lows. And now I'm going to bring this to the industrials. The Dow Industrials, now it made it clearly a lower low here, did not make a higher high. So officially we're still on a Dow Theory sell signal. Even though the industrials and the S&P 500, all that, recovered most of their loss, it's still on a sell signal, at least in my view. So now with that said, let's come over here to the sector. I'm going to take a look at the airline sector. This is the Dow Jones U.S. Airline Industry Group. You can see that's a support break. I'm going to bring it out to the weekly view. Clearly that looks like a top. Whatever trend is here is broken. Even if we finesse it a little bit, let's just put it with a log scale. That looks even toppier. So I want to give it the most conservative view, which would be the linear scale. So that's definitely looks like a break to me. Okay, back to the daily time frame. All right, let's look at some of the individual stocks. Here comes American. Looks pretty awful, a new low below last year's low, or last October's low, I should say. So that looks pretty terrible. Delta looks like the main index with a support break right here, around 40. Southwest, a little bit better because it hasn't fallen quite as much, but it's certainly not in a rising trend. Here's Ryanair. This is an Irish-based airline, and it scooted up late in May and just collapsed in June. So not a great look here either. I would call this a breakout failure at new highs. United Continental looks terrible. Alaska, still pretty terrible. JetBlue, you know what this trend is. Spirit, I hate Spirit, by the way. Anyway, not a good looking chart either. And Hawaiian Airlines, probably the best in the group, sitting on its 50-day average, has not quite broken down yet, although this breakout has failed. So I wouldn't call this a great looking stock either. So there you have it. Still officially on a Dow Theory sell signal. Transports look terrible, and you can thank the airlines for that, which are plunging even though oil is backing down. So take that for what it's worth. I think this is not a good sign for the market.